Northern Ireland is famous throughout the world for its love of motorcycle racing. It has dominated the sport for decades and produced some of its biggest names. And the search is on for the next generation of stars who today are just kids. These are the children who race at twice the national speed limit and the parents who support them every step of the way.
I'm nervous today. I don't know why.
Nutts Corner is a legendary racetrack in the heart of Northern Ireland.
How would I describe Nutts Corner? Nutts Corner is just the life and soul of the party. That's where we want to be on a Saturday morning at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. We pray for a dry day. If it's not dry, we'll just go on ahead anyway.
Throughout the year, families come to Nutts Corner to race against each other.
Nutts Corner is quite important to the kids racing. It's a great wee facility for them, and it produces some good racing and teaches the kids a lot of things. There's fast corners, slow corners, passing points, you know, it's got a wee bit of everything in it, so it's really, really good for them.
You know, we spend so much time in the paddock that the paddock, you know, is our life, and people in the paddock are our bestest friends. Our kids go to the paddock and they have an absolute ball with the other kids. They run about. They're just enjoying life, you know, and that's what's important.
This is one of the world's fastest children.
I'm Peter Willis and I'm from Callybackie and I ride motorbikes. Well, the fastest I've done is like 135 mile an hour is the fastest I've done. I don't know like an average speed, but I just know the fastest I've done. The buzz of racing motorbikes is amazing. Like, for a race, you're sitting there waiting for the lights to go, and then once the lights go off, it's just amazing. Like, great feeling.
My name's Zach Willis, and I'm Peter Willis's father. Some people would say you live your dream through your children. The opportunity that Peter has today, those opportunities weren't about when I was younger. So there's a lot more opportunities for kids nowadays.
Peter is a rising star in the UK bike scene. Having come second in the British Mini Bike Championship, Peter is now competing in the British Talent Cup, the pathway for many professional riders. Back home at Nutts Corner, he's competing in the adult class.
Yeah, so he's against the adults. Because he's in the 190, they only run an open class here, which is majority of adults. So there's a 13-year-old that's going to be maybe putting a few adults to shame, hopefully.
I wouldn't think there's tactics for racing motorbikes, but really, there's quite a lot of tactics.
He's got a good start there, actually. If we can keep going here, we'll be all right.
In your head, the person that's in front of you, if you're behind him, you'd find weak points of corners that he's weak in. You say, like, oh, he's slow in this bit. Yeah, there is more to it than just going fast.
Oh, yes. Nice. Just picked off an RV position there. He's up into back now. It's getting a bit exciting. So let's try and get a fourth here if we can.
Last lap, I know he's weak in this spot, and just pass him and beat him to the line.
Oh, so we try last corner. He is. Try him on the line. Oh!
He won't be happy with that.
Well done. You got a good start and just kept chipping away at it. That gearing worked better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy days. Good. Well done.
In the lower age groups, the riders are also getting ready for an exciting race. Children as young as 6 years old are getting ready to race in a category known as the Bam Bams.
Well, I believe that The next generation of racers and superstars are coming up through the ranks in the Bambams.
The Bambino Class is a starting class for kids that wants to race from the ages of 6 to 10. All the bikes are absolutely identical, so there's no such thing as somebody coming in with more knowledge than somebody else and being able to get their kid a faster bike. It just doesn't work that way. So it learns them a lot of racecraft and stuff before they would move on to a bigger class.
More girls are coming into the sport, and today, Paige is hoping for her first win.
I'm Paige and I'm 8 years old. My coach is Daddy. Daddy's a good coach to me.
I'd always say we're Team Mullen. We love it, we are a wee team.
This is Paige's first full year of racing, and she started off just at the back, but she's slowly working her way forward now.
Alyssa has just one piece of advice for her best friend.
Show the boys how it's done.
But standing between Paige and the podium is some formidable opposition.
Max, gold. I'm Paul Robinson from Ballymoney, County Antrim, and this is my son Max here, who's racing in the Bambino Class. There's a lot of safety stuff goes on. There are obviously the leathers with a wee hump in the back to stop the neck extending too much in an accident, and there's a chest protector inside there as well, and there's the gloves, the boots, then there's the helmet.
Comfy.
Max would be very shy and backward, you know, until you get to know him. Once he comes out of his shell, he's not so quiet and that, you know, he's a bit of a rascal. No, he's well-behaved, nice-mannered wee fella, and he loves a bit of fun and a bit of crack, the same as everybody else.
Dad Paul is a former racing champion.
I raced for 26 years.
Heading down the hill towards York Corner, there he is, and number 18 is Paul Robinson.
I've won 171 races in total. 8 Irish Championships, I've won British Championship races, the Ulster Grand Prix, and I think I've won every road race there is, bar Armoy.
However, Paul fears a recent crash might have affected Max's performance.
His wee crash was awful for me. It was at one of the corners where I had says, do not crash there, because this ain't going to end good if you crash there. And that's where Max went down at, and the warm-up, he just had been a wee bit wide and hit bumps. Now, he disappeared out of sight, but I knew it couldn't be good. But then I heard one of the other parents that says, don't worry, he's all right. And I looked over, and there he was coming dandering over the hill, so he'd get back up again.
Yeah, that's you now.
Finally, it's time for the Bam Bams.
Max is strange to prepare for a race because a lot of kids want you there and want you around them. Max wants his space. He wants you out of the way. He wants to concentrate on the lights and get his wee head ready for whatever goes through it at that stage, you know.
Across the grid, rivals Adrian and Paige are also getting ready.
Right, you know what you have to do? Yeah? You need to get on the podium, right? So you have to get top 3, all right? So get a good start, and I'll signal you at the side where you are, and if there's somebody behind you, I'll point like that if they're really close behind you, so you know that they're right behind you, right? And keep your head down in that straight, and it's dry now, so don't worry about the rain, all right? And then you get a trophy, all right? So, and don't forget, you're really fast up that hill, all right? So ride the best you can ride, okay? All right? You know who you have to beat? Where is he?
It's time to head to the starting line. The race is about to begin. Dad Paul says just one thing before a race.
Love you.
I am really nervous whenever I'm watching Max racing. Far more nervous than I've ever been racing myself at any stage.
As the race starts, it soon becomes apparent that the two dads have very different coaching styles.
I can get very I can get carried away a wee bit.
It's big, massively. Come on, Paige. Come on, Paige.
I maybe look calm from the outside whenever Max is racing, but inside it's totally the opposite. I try to just keep calm for him.
He's running second here at the minute, so he's doing quite well. Happy with that. And they try and give him signals, it'd be a bit confusing maybe for him, so just let him go at his own pace, you know.
In the final lap, Max takes the lead.
That's him now.
First place, number 99, Max Robinson.
The racing went really well that day. Max was really up for it, and at the end of the day he ended up first place and Paige got a second.
Max has won today's race, but to win the Bam Bam Championship, he'll need to return to Nuts Corner later in the year and face some tough competition. Meanwhile, in Cullybackey, Peter is recovering from his first major accident on the track.
So this is the actual crash. They're coming down the hill at 115, and at this point they're probably just over 95 mile an hour. And then they both sort of come together just as they're coming into turn one, and they're both sort of, you know, fly through the gravel trap. It's just one of those freak racing incidents, really. It's no one's fault, no one's to blame. It's what happens sometimes when you get such close racing.
As soon as I hit the gravel, it was like a washing machine, just tumbling, legs everywhere.
Once they put me in the ambulance, took me to the medical room. They shook my leathers off. My wrist was like an S shape, like almost like a big snake. I was like, it's not supposed to look like that.
Then he gives me a little cheeky smile. He just looks like broken arm or broken wrist or whatever. So at that stage, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, we're not too bad. What state's the bike in? Left the front off.
The bike has taken a lot of damage and crashes cost money.
See what all we need to do. Yeah, like it is expensive, you know. It's an unfortunate thing off this sport. You know, the bike itself, brand new. We bought this bike brand new the end of last year. Was 14,995. So you know, £5 short of 15 grand, which is just the start. Unfortunately, it is an expensive run the whole way through. You know, especially from here as well, like, because we constantly race over in Britain, we will be spending at least £4 grand a year in ferries.
The bike can be repaired, but Peter will have to take time to heal. Despite the accident, his love of racing remains unchanged.
Even if I went back to that track now, I wouldn't think anything of it. I would just still ride it as hard as I always would.
In Ballymoney, the heartland of motorbike racing, Paul Robinson is bringing son Max to find out about two local legends. Brothers Robert and Joey Dunlop were two of the most famous racers in the history of the sport.
They were definitely icons for Northern Ireland and for world sport, really. I never would have looked at them in that way because I was so used to them from when I was a kid, and to me they were just my Uncle Robert and Uncle Joey.
How famous was he?
How famous was Joey? Joey was very, very famous. He won the most Isle of Man TTs ever, 26, and he was world champion 5 times. And everywhere knows who Joey is.
Although only 7 years old, people are already comparing Max to his great Uncle Joey.
Max would be very shy like Joey would have been, backward a bit. There's mischief there, which is in both of them. And from talking to people around the circuits, a lot of them has compared him to the way Joey rides. He's always in the same lane, he's always in the same place, he's always smooth, steady and fast. My mum is sister to Joey and Robert. I wouldn't say that my mother hates it, but she certainly doesn't love it, you know. She always supported every one of us because that's what we've chose to do.
Max is a character, but his enthusiasm and passion for the racing is second to none. I've never seen it, even in my brothers, never seen racing passion like that.
As the children get older, the risks become greater and there's more pressure on them to perform. Paige's big brother Lewis is tipped to be a future racing star. Today, he's competing at Three Sisters Racetrack in England.
My name's Lewis and I race motorbikes. I race 80 miles per hour and I've ridden 100 miles per hour.
A podium place today will give Lewis the chance to race in Spain. Dad Adrian is hopeful that he can win.
You really have the speed for a podium here. All right, you're doing brilliant, okay?
I try and give him a bit of guidance. Look, Lewis is far more talent than I ever had.
An academy has been set up to identify and train the next generation of UK stars, and Lewis has been picked for the team.
All right, settle into it, use dash. Yeah, don't chase time, just run, just ride, all right?
Lewis is getting on well in the academy. He's had a good first year. Grand Prix circuit, which would be the pinnacle of motorcycle racing, it's mainly Spanish and Italian children. That's because they start them young. The focus now with the Michael Laverty Academy is to try and get the next British kid to help them along the way from a young age and bring them right up through the ranks. A lot of it's about being at the right place at the right time and knowing the right people in the paddock to get your chance. It is really easy to forget he's still only 10 years old, that he's still in primary school.
It's okay, it's okay.
Lewis had a chance to go to Spain at Three Sisters, top 3 in the championship went, so he was in a fighting chance. But the race didn't work out as we had hoped.
You missed a gear, did you? Yeah? That's racing, son. It's all right.
It was hard to see him with tears in his eyes and crying, but he wants it. You know, it'd be worse if he's getting off the bike and saying, shrugging his shoulders, but he really wants it, so that's a big thing in my eyes. It's the reason why you get up in the morning, it's the reason why you go to work. It's your children, you're doing everything for your children.
After breaking his wrist earlier in the season, Peter must now pass a medical before he's allowed to race again.
He got the wire and the cast and all out last Thursday.
I had to go through a medical test first when they kind of stretched my wrist out, and I passed it fine, it wasn't too sore. And I was out, free practice, no pain, I could just ride freely like I always did.
Peter is at Donington, one of the world's most iconic racetracks, where he's returning to the British Talent Cup. Mum Pam has had her confidence knocked and is anxious about his return.
I'm nervous today. I don't know why. I think possibly because I'm out of the game now. It's been so long. It feels like it's been so long since we've been out racing, so I'm just about nervous. You think he's indestructible, and he is destructible, you know? So it's that worry now. So, oh, nervous.
Returning to the track after an accident is a big test for a young rider.
We're good to go. Have fun there.
Compared to mini bikes, you're always really close to other people. You're always like half a second, not even, between the person in front of you. It's more of a risk, kind of, because if you're going really fast and someone misses a gear, you can nearly hit them by accident. That's how close you can be. The light bikes are only 90 kilograms, roughly, and they are fast, like. do about 135 mile an hour.
Peter didn't make the podium, but appears to be back on form.
He got faster every session, still battling with riders. He was still challenging into the corners and stuff, so it didn't really affect him that much.
He's been safe, he's made it round. This is good, I feel better, much better. Can't wait to see him now.
While Team Willis are relieved, recent news from Spain is weighing heavily on their minds.
This year's been a bad year for junior championship racing. We've had 2 fatalities, one earlier in the year, one later in the year, both in junior championships. You hear it, you hear what happened, and you know, you see it in the news, you know, it does sort of hit home a little bit.
On the 25th of July, 14-year-old Hugo Milan was killed while racing. And 2 months later, 15-year-old Diane Berta Vinales was also killed on the track.
When we heard about the fatalities in Spain, like, I felt so heartbroken for those families because I kind of put myself in their shoes. They were just trying to help their kids live out their dreams.
The tragedies in Spain have sparked a debate throughout the paddock.
Yes, it definitely worries you, and they do have to make changes. What the changes can be, I have no idea really, but going to have to be something done because it's just too frequent. You know, one's bad, but whenever it's happening on a regular basis, it's just not on. The morning my Uncle Joey was killed, I raced about 2 hours later. I knew that's what he would have wanted me to do.
For Paul, tragedy on the track is something he's grown up with.
The year my dad was killed at the Northwest, whenever he didn't come round, didn't think an awful lot of it at the time because I thought the bike had broke down, and it wasn't until later on that evening that my mum broke the news to me.
Paul was 5 years old when he lost his dad Mervyn to racing.
I definitely did miss him growing up. You know, it's hard to say in what ways, but you know, when you look back on things, you think, I wonder what it would have been like if he'd been here.
Robinson, he was desperate for a win. He said he wasn't going to retire until he got one for the family. I'm sure.
The year I won the Northwest 200, I was pretty confident that I was going to do it that year because I was sitting the Friday night, to be honest, thinking about my speech for winning the race and stuff. And when I end up, I won the race, but all that, them thoughts went out your mind.
And there is the checkered flag for Paul Robinson.
I said to myself that I would never lay a wreath in my dad's grave until I won the Northwest where he was killed. And it was quite emotional for me.
Despite these losses, it was only when Max was born that Paul reassessed his future as a racer.
I had toyed with the idea of retiring for a few years, but the selfish side of me, I still wanted to win these certain races, I still wanted to win certain championships. Until one year, I was going to a race and I said to Max, I'll see you tomorrow, son. I thought, Walla. And at that stage, I just decided, right, that's me finished. At the end of the season, I'm pulling the plug, and that was what I did. I had one season out of the firing line, and Max decided to take it up the following season.
There'll always be a new generation who dream of the podium.
One of my friend's teammates was killed in one of the crashes. I never thought any different about racing. Like, it never changed my perspective of racing a bike. Danger never got any different to me, because I never thought of bike being dangerous to me.
Back in Nuts Corner, it's the final weekend of the season and all eyes are on the Bambino Class. Paul and Max are back and hoping that Max will win enough races to be declared overall champion of the Bambinos. However, in their way stands the Ferris family from County Tyrone, and son Tommy is just as hungry to win.
My name's Tommy, I'm 10 years old and I race motorbikes.
He's coached by Dad Jody.
I would be Tommy's coach, I would. Our Tommy is just a wee ball of fun. Very much innocent looking, plenty of devilment in him too.
The wait is over, and finally, it's time for the Bambinos. For Paul and Max, the hour of reckoning has arrived. Could this be the first of many championships for Max?
Max loves to win. He has said to me I didn't come to finish second, Daddy.
But this is far from a one-horse race, and tension amongst the riders and their families is rising.
When you're sitting at the lane, you want everybody to go out. You want them all to have fun. But I just think every daddy wants their child coming over the lane as soon as possible, or as in a position as possible.
Do you see the lights now? Is everything okay? You feel good? That's good. You just tell me whenever you want me to go. Go now. Good luck. Love you.
Max starts fast, but Tommy is hot on his heels, and in the third corner makes a daring pass, taking the lead. Tommy's mum Donna can barely contain her excitement.
Still in first place, he's flying. Whenever you go to the racing and see them on their bikes, something just changes. You'd be like a crazy parent.
Okay, it's good. It's not good for the nerves, like, but it's good for him. He needs to learn a wee bit of racecraft and stuff.
Suddenly, Max steals the lead, just narrowly avoiding contact with Tommy. Max has won.
I knew at that stage they would have had enough points then to clinch the championship. I was probably prouder than I've ever been myself.
Brilliant wee man, super racing there, huh? First class.
I was chuffed to bits, absolutely chuffed to bits. He done so well and we were so proud of him.
Best racing I've seen all weekend.
I think if my dad was still here and looking at Max, he'd be very, very proud, because he's done everybody proud. Everybody's been amazed at how quickly he's taken to the racing and how much he's improved, and everybody I know is proud of him.